Game review, everybody. So in the last couple months, I played a slew of dating games, and with the wealth of dating knowledge that I have acquired, I have now amassed enough confidence to begin my own career as a critic in this particular field. Speaking of knowledge, what better way to begin my very first review with the OG dating game that started it all? Knowledge or No Lady. For a start, I'll be ranking the game based on story, characters, and gameplay. The story starts with you playing as Lin Fan, a guy who has miraculously found himself enrolled in a girls' school as the only guy. Throughout the journey, you'll encounter 6 lovely ladies who will eventually be your love interest. I won't go into too much spoilers here, but I'll give a general overview on how the story goes depending on which of the characters you choose to pursue. So if you want to avoid any spoilers, you can click away now. Okay, let's begin. In chapter 1, the first character you'll meet is Avril Lin. While it's not clear as to what your relationship with her is from the start, it can be assumed that there already is some form of relationship between you and her. In class, you'll meet Serena, who is your next love interest, and you also share some affinity with. Both Avril and Serena will take up the main chunk of chapter 1, while your third love interest, Nico, will show up towards the end of the chapter. In chapter 2, you'll encounter your fourth love interest, Ada Aoyang, briefly, but the main chunk of chapter 2 revolves around you attempting to accumulate enough Riz for Avril, Serena, and Nico. The chapter will end with you encountering your fifth love interest, Lia Bai. In chapter 3, this is where the roller coaster starts. You'll have a brief interaction with Lia Bai, which eventually leads you to meeting your sixth and final love interest, Nikita Xiao. Chapter 3 will mainly focus on your interaction between Lia and Nikita. With the introduction of these two women, your story will start taking place outside of the school, and you'll find out a little more about Lia and Nikita depending on the route you choose. In chapter 4, you'll find that all the love interests, barring Ada, will cross paths, and you have to make a flurry of decisions which either ends with you getting together with Avril or continuing the journey to the next chapter. Chapter 5 will finally bring about the introduction of Ada, who you would have briefly met back at the start of chapter 3. The chapter will revolve around you, Ada, and Nikita, and you'll have the option to riz between the two women. At the end of the chapter, Serena will come back into the fray, and depending on your choices, you'll either reach the ending with Serena or continue on to the 6th and final chapter. The final chapter, chapter 6, will present you with the choice between all 6 women, and depending on the riz accumulated, you would be able to pick the one you would like to end up with. To summarize, the story is simple yet intriguing and interesting. It isn't carried by some over-the-top scenario, but by the vibrant and colorful personalities of the characters. You generally feel a connection with these characters, and it is grounded enough to be immersive. That being said, the story gets a solid 9 out of 10. Now going into the characters. There's 6 love interests you'll be able to pursue in the game: Avril Lin, Serena Wen, Nico, Lia Bai, Nikita Xiao, and Ada Aoyang. The very first character you meet, Avril Lin, is portrayed as your typical girl next door. She seems to have some relationship with you, but as you progress through the story with her, you find out that she has a secret. This secret eventually becomes the hurdle that you and Avril need to overcome in order to achieve the happy ending with her. Personality-wise, she's the most neutral character out of the 6 love interests. Your relationship with her is most akin to the friends to lovers trope, and if you enjoy a more grounded, nostalgic route with these games, Avril is the one for you. Serena Wen is the second character you'll meet. From the get-go, she's the one to challenge your relationship with Avril. Her cute and bubbly exterior exudes the beauty and persona of the popular girl, and she makes no effort to hide it. As you progress through the story with her, you'll find that she has a wild side to her. Her flirtatious antics will attempt to sway you from both Avril and Nico, but if that is your cup of tea, then Serena is the one you should pursue. Nico is the third love interest you'll meet. Your initial relationship with her starts off as friends, with her making a deal to be your wingman. Nico is the only character here that isn't Chinese, but despite that, she seems to be quite interested in the culture. She's quite an adventurous spirit, and the allure of her personality comes from her unbelievable tales and extraordinarily active imagination. Nico would be best described as a fairy tale story. If you decide to pursue her throughout the story, you'll uncover a more feminine side to her. If your taste in girls is the bro girl, the girl who you could hang out with like one of your boys, then Nico is the one for you. Liu Bai is the fourth love interest you'll encounter. She's your senior, your older sister, and your disciplinarian. Your relationship with her will start on shaky grounds. She'll be a pain in your ass at the start, but if you're willing to pursue her, you'll unravel a more vulnerable side of her. As your senior, she puts a strong front and stands as a pillar of excellence, but life outside school reveals that she has a more humble demeanor. If your taste is more favorable towards tsunderes, pursuing Leah would be a good option. Nikita is your fifth love interest. She is the sister mommy, the strong-willed, tough woman baddie. She'll be the protector throughout the story and the one who will toughen you up. She doesn't take any shit from anyone, and honestly, she could hold her own. Nikita will be the antithesis of Liu Bai, the law-abiding pillar of excellence senior from your school. However, pursuing her is no easy feat. From the surface, it seems like she would like a soft boy, a little goober she can protect, but if you really want to win her heart, you'll have to change that soft boy demeanor into the man she deserves. Beneath all that bravado, she still has a caring side to her, and she might not be the best at showing it, but her efforts will eventually win you over. Loving Nikita is a combat sport, but if that is your cup of tea, she's the one for you. Your sixth and final love interest is Ada Aoyang. A true mommy who will love you and care for you like the mother you never had. She's the other side of the coin compared to Nikita, who cares for you with her heart but not her fists. However, pursuing Ada still requires a level of maturity. The complex nature of her past love life means love with Ada needs to progress with sensitivity and care. If your taste is someone beyond your years and you have what it takes, Ada would be the perfect choice for you. The incredible depth of these characters is what carries the game despite its simple plot, and that means on this front, the game scores a perfect 10 for its characters. Finally, getting to the gameplay. The game capitalizes on simple interactions, which is easily understandable regardless of whether there are English subtitles or not. It makes it easily playable with little to no explanation, and it does well in striking a balance between the length of the scenes and the amount of interactions. None of the scenes feel like they go on for too long, and none of the chapters feel like there is too much mouse interactions required. Therefore, I would score the game's performance in this category a perfect 10 as well. Overall, Knowledge or No Lady delivers when it comes to being an FMV dating game because the developers successfully understand their audience and the content they are trying to produce. The game doesn't take the focus away from the main point of the game, which is to pursue a love interest, and ensures that players do that by keeping the story grounded to some sense of reality and ensuring the love interests are vibrant and interesting beyond just their physical appearance. Ranking Knowledge or No Lady on the tier list, the game goes in S tier for being a well-balanced dating game that is enjoyable, fun, and quirky. If you enjoyed this review, leave a like, subscribe, and comment your best girl when you've played the game.